Hi guys, how are you? So this is very important, and I hope I do not veer off the topic. My name is Wanyiha Jindut, and this is how sometimes I approach these videos. So welcome, make yourself comfortable. I'm just from checking scripture that this is where God said that a man will leave his mother and father and be joined to the wife of his youth, or be joined to his wife, okay? And the two shall become one, okay? Now, this, whenever women are vexed, yeah, they're in my circles, okay, with my friends. There's been times we've been like, how are you even related to this man? Do you know you're related to your children and so is your husband? But how are we related to this man? Okay, these people can just leave. These people can just, do very, bad things to us. They are very evil. Men are this, men are that, okay? And so we come into agreement. In a lot of places we sit together, all right? So the Bible says in Genesis 2:24, a man shall leave his mother and father and be joined to his wife, and the two shall become one. It repeats that in Matthew 19:5. Therefore, a man shall leave his mother and father and be joined to his wife, and the two shall become one. So again in Mark 10:8, the same. Ephesians 5:31, the same. And also Ephesians is very important in people who are joining together in marriage, because this is where it shows, how a marriage should be handled, that the two shall come together and they shall be submitted to one another. And then it goes further to say that a woman shall be submissive to the husband, and the husband shall love his woman, okay? Now, because I've been trying to be very open in this journey, I told you over time where we came together with my husband before our parents, like when they knew, it's like we had this very special freedom to just be together, yeah? So there was this, amazing happiness, okay? And I once read a Facebook post of a guy saying, when you marry your wife in the first years, it feels like she's so sweet you could eat her, but afterwards you wish you had eaten her so that she stays in the stomach, yeah, because now she's become this monster, okay? Now the point of this video is to tell you that women, we need to break away from our mothers, and I will explain why. And that is why in the previous videos I had started talking about the altars, okay? Now when a situation is very bad, like in our family, I've been using my family as a case study, okay? So much was set against us, especially in marriage, okay? And some people would seem to be scapegoats, never even made it to even bring forth another generation, okay? They died young. And some sacrificed themselves, and they were like, okay, this is this marriage institution is not working for me, so I will not get married. And they did not, okay? Now the thing is, as we are growing up, and I've shown in some illustrations on my whiteboard, and I was showing how an afflicted mother can end up afflicting their children and even cursing them to a point where they lose their lives, okay? And now if you do not think that is dangerous, and if you think you can control it, you do not know about something called familiar spirits, okay? Familiar spirits will be claiming you guys, and neither the mother nor the child will be able to control themselves. At the end of it, once the devil uses you, because he's always prowling around looking for these homes that are quite broken, okay? So he's always prowling around looking to whom he may devour, okay? And so as he does that, he spoils this family, because neither the devil, okay, or God have the ability to live here except through embodying the vessels that they use, okay? So when God wants to use to do something in the world, he will use people. So the Spirit of God will be poured into you, and you'll be able to do something. When the devil also wants to do something against you, he will use people, okay? So he will embody these people, use them how he will, and he takes advantage especially of the people who go into covens seeking, for some power, okay, to have some control in the world. Why do they do this? Because they do not have faith in the Lord, okay? Now, I will take you back, and this is a bit out of topic, but I want to give you an example of somebody who believed, and this is Abraham, okay? When God called him forth, and these people were idol worshippers, okay? Their people were idol worshippers, but God looks at the heart of this man, and he's like, I'm calling you out of this, and I want you to go start another generation in a far off land. Why am I relocating you? Because your land has been, spoilt by idol worship, okay? You people are, idol worshippers, okay? So because you and I know each other like I know your heart, I'm going to set you off in a journey, and you're going to, do what? Take your wife, okay? And you're going to start another family, okay? And this guy would ask often, God, how am I going to do this when I don't even have a son? And he would say, I will give you a son. He believes, he does the journey, okay? But even at the point that he's doing this journey, he takes a nephew with him, okay? Lot. And he goes with him, but because God did not order it, at some point they don't get along, and he does what Adam does. Because he's a good man, he tells him, Lot, now that we are standing here, I'm about to set camp, okay? But you and, your servants and our servants are not getting along. So I think we should split up. You go to a land that you choose, okay? So they're standing somewhere, and Lot can see in the valley a very, green pastures, okay? And he's like, I'm going to take the valley. He'd even think, oh, uncle, how about you, okay? How about you? It seems that only the valley is green. Why don't we go and, find a way to divide or to demarcate in a way we won't interfere with each other? There seems to be enough for all of us. He did not do that. He said, I will take the valley. And so Abraham says, okay, good. Take your things, go to the valley. I will settle here. So Abraham settled here, in these mountains. And it seems in these places, God could talk to him clearer. It doesn't matter what your land looks like. If God is with you, he will speak with you, okay? And so after that, you would see God now talking to him. It seems by carrying these people, there was no access, okay, to the Spirit of God, okay? And so I will throw you again into the future where Jacob went and married from the house of Laban. He married Leah, the big sister, and the girl he was into, Rachel, okay? But the time he decides that he will leave this place, he has worked, he has paid a price, okay? He has done his part, and now he wants to leave, and legally he could leave because he had done so much in this home, okay? But when they are leaving, Rachel decides to carry the idols from the father's home, okay? So these idols, Jacob is a guy who was in connection with God. And even the time that he's going to Laban, God had spoken to him and made the similar promise that he made to Abraham. I am with you. I will multiply you. I will do all these things for you. Okay. So there was this promise, and he knew he didn't have to rely on any kind of idols. But now Rachel, because she's not a believer and she's not in cahoots with the husband, she doesn't tell him that she's carried these idols. Okay, so these are a secret. And even when the father comes after them looking for these idols, she sits on them. Okay, and so there's no way that, the guy knows. But this girl, this very loved girl, carried these idols. Okay. Now walk with me. A lot of times when we leave our parents' home, we still are very connected to the people who, especially the girl's family, okay? And we have this thing where we say dad's side of the family is not as cool, we are not as connected, we are not together. But mom's side of the family, those are not even cousins, those are our siblings, okay? We are very, very tight together. Another thing we do, we carry our aunties, we carry our moms, okay? Now, this would seem very nice to have this kind of family, unit. And it would be very, very good if everybody has their own home, okay? But now see the homes that we come from. It is just like Abraham, okay? Very, very corrupted, very, very, some very much under a curse, Now, a person like me who comes from a single, a single parent family, I would want to carry my mom along whenever I go, okay? And even when I don't think so, there would be other people surrounding me like, are you taking care of your mom? Okay, so that is given, okay? Even as a child, you're supposed to take care of your mom once you come into some blessing. The problem is at the onset. Okay, at the onset, when you're starting your family, you want to carry your mom, you want to talk about your home, you want to, so it's like you don't get a chance to build a foundation together with the man that left his mother and father to start a family with you. Okay, now when we go into Proverbs 31, and I know a lot of people do not like this because they're like, why are we being challenged? What is the man doing? Okay, so when you go into Proverbs 31, we see a woman who is very in charge of her home, okay? What does she do? She wakes up while it's still early and divides, meat portions for her servants and also her family, okay? So she ensures that the family has eaten. And how she does business is also very much indicated. How she dresses, how she carries herself. She is a woman who is connected with herself, doing her thing very much in her mission, okay? And what does the husband do? He is connected to the men of the village, okay? They're the ones who make decisions over this land, okay? So he sits in high places. He sits at the gates with the men, okay? So ensuring that there's security, ensuring that everybody is taken care of. So these women can actually thrive under this guidance and leadership of these men who sits at these places as council of elders. Okay, that is my word and not the Bible. All right, but now there's this thing, okay? And now if you think this is coming from me, I am going to share something. So I have told you guys before, if you guys have been following this series, I showed you how because of the names in the family, we used to, me and my mom used to be at, loggerheads a lot of times. And then I would see that repeat with my child, who also comes from my family, okay? So you would wonder, why does that matter? When we are in a family, there are familiar spirits that govern us, that talk over us, that influence us, okay? A lot of girls, especially who do not have good relationships with their parents, and it's also men, okay, that have weird relationships with their parent, you'll find that you fight, but you're still entangled in so many ways, okay? And so you will find where there's a power struggle between a girl and her mother, she will feel like she will feel like she owes the mom a lot of explanation about her life, okay? So wherever she goes, the friends she brings, every contact, yeah? And that goes for the boys as well, yeah? Every connection that she has, with this mother, every connection that she has with the outside world, it's like she has to come and verify it with the mother, okay? So we find that the mother is not quite living her life. Sometimes it's the daughter who brings her in. Sometimes it's the mom who insists on being in this girl's life because of what? Underline this, please. Control, okay? Now, control is the worst thing because it is not just this person being so entitled. It is about the familiar spirit. They use control to have everybody shackled and acting according to what they want, okay? Now, to my case, okay? So I was telling you guys how me and my mom had problems, and I illustrated that, okay? But how was this happening? Now, the other day, and this has been continuing for very long, even though me and my mom have been working, things out, trying so much to understand, okay? So the other day, I was petitioning God, yeah? And I said, because I had a difficult conversation with my mom, where we were discussing, the things that are happening in the family, realizing that she's a chosen one, and so am I. And because I'm in this generation, it's like I get to be the mouthpiece and bring clarity to everything that is happening in the family, okay? So we are talking like this, and we end up now getting into what keeps us shackled, okay? So my mom now starts talking about how you're always attacking me. I'm always wondering, why is it you attack me in this way? And I go like, Mom, you don't think you attack me, or you don't think also that there are things that you do that could offend me or cause me to speak in a certain manner. And by the way, is it insult? Is it something, that I should repent for? Because I have said sorry, several times. And mom, when I say sorry, do you ever think that you have something to say sorry about? And she's like, no, I keep wondering, why is it you are always attacking me? And I'm like, okay, so we are in the midst of doing some very, very important work. Why is this coming up? Again, I'm always wondering why this is happening. And I asked her, okay, so did you see, because I have her permissions, okay, to use the family, as, a case study, and she's understanding very much in support. So I'm wondering, what is this that is happening, okay? So later, I think that was before. So later, she got to watch the video where I'm illustrating where our battles come from. And I call them demon size twists or setups that cause the family to be at loggerheads or something like that, yeah? And so she says, after now she watched that video, she would have a dream, okay? So she would have a dream of me and my son in a heated exchange, okay? And so she was very troubled because she was watching the both of us fight so heatedly, okay? And so she saw me now walk up. I think I was bent doing something, and she saw, as soon as the exchange stopped, she called my son and she was like, oh, what you're doing is so wrong. You shouldn't talk to your mother like that. You guys shouldn't be fighting like that, okay? So she doesn't talk to me as the mother, like, stop doing this to the child. This is wrong. Shouldn't be exchanging with your child like that. But anyway, so when she talks to me about her dream, I would ask her, did you notice just how ugly that is, for a scene like that to be repeating, and why it shouldn't be happening at all? Okay, and did you understand what I meant when I say that this, it is out of control and it is actual demons taking advantage of this, And so we had a very calm conversation, and we talked about it and, covered it. And I was wondering, does my mom now understand how we shouldn't be exchanging like this, because it's like we are not growing. We are both like children. Why are you doing this to me? Why are you doing this to me? And like the last exchange, we had it in front of my sister's daughters had called me because mom was at home. So I was meant to talk to her and, talk with them too. And the problem now was because I was asking my younger niece, Joy, what is your name? Okay, because this girl at some point was called, but after me. And I said, what is your name? And she says her name, yeah, which is named after her dad's mom. And I say, okay, and the last name, what did you register, for the exams? And she says, my sister's name. And I say, oh my God, mom, why would you let that happen? Why is this happening? Why are you guys messing up with the names and all of that? Because guys, you do not know it, but it is very, very serious, yeah? We cannot go off anymore calling our kids what we want. We cannot, continue, because especially the Gikuyu community, we say that the children are ours, okay? Now, what your child will call themselves, especially when registering in the exams and even in the IDs and all of that, we act as if our children do not have fathers, okay? And then now we link ourselves like that with them, because now we have a claim, we have ownership over them. Now this is very spiritual and it goes deeper than you think, okay? So there is God's plan and there is our plan, and how out of bitterness, out of anger, we will associate with some things, okay? So while we are talking like that, my mom attacks me, okay? She knows why I'm saying this, and it is to edify. So, and we exchange heatedly, like she's telling me, why didn't you, use my name when you were doing your exams? Because funny thing, I call myself by my two names. Whenever we've traveled with my children, and we go, to like a desk for the document to be processed, people would ask me, so these are your children, yeah? They're called this name, their father's name. Yes. You don't have the same name? No. I've always called myself Margaret Nduta, okay? So my mother asked, and I say, isn't that easier? Because I didn't have, to use your name or my dad's name or ask about that. And she's like, why didn't you use my name? You should have used my name. You act like I didn't give birth to you and all of that. And I'm like, why are we having this conversation? I am almost 50. What is happening? Why are we having this conversation, especially in front of the children? And she wouldn't stop. And so now my problem is I'm always like trying to clarify, okay, and not thinking this is a spirit that, or this is an issue that we need to address once and for all. Okay, so I'm like, Mom, stop this, and why would I call you? Why not call my father's name? Why not, use my father's name? And yet I knew him. And she's like, why would you use your father's name? He wasn't there. He didn't take care of you. He didn't raise you. He did. And I understand all of that. Okay. So I don't know. And I say, I think at that point, I asked a teacher, can I just use my two names? And they said, yeah. I mean, we are in an exam room, or registering for the same. Why will I not use my two names? Okay, so I'm confused because I know my father. I have met him, okay? And I know that children name themselves, have these male names. For me, we never ever discussed at home. So I'm like, okay, so if you felt so strongly about this, why didn't you? Tell me that I should use your name, because I could have. I was an innocent kid. So later I would petition God and say, God, you see what is happening. And I do not want to provoke my mother. I don't want to dishonor her. And in so many ways, my heart, I have wanted to honor my mother, to respect her. I have wanted her to feel loved and cherished. Okay. So what is this happening? Why is this happening? And why is it always coming up? Even when we think we understand each other, we are grown, we are moving on. I have my own family to take care of. Why do I have to keep being pegged into this, having the same arguments? Okay. So I would have a dream, okay, and this is what would reveal what spirits were affecting us, okay. And so in this dream, I will read to you because it's a long one, okay. So I dream that I live at home, and one day, and I have to say, guys, at this point, there's so many dreams of mine that start like this. I live at home and we have a crazy fight with my mother. I dream that I live at home, and one day I fight bitterly with my mother to a point I feel like moving away. Then I go to a class. My mom then comes to a class that I'm attending with one of the YouTubers. Okay, so this was now to signify that what I'm doing on YouTube. So it was a now thing. Okay, so my mom comes to a class I'm attending with this person, and I'm not sure what she wants to do because now she's approaching me. Yeah. I'm not sure what she wants to do or say. And in the dream, I said to this other person, okay, she's also a teacher of the word, do you know about narcissistic parents? And she says, I do. And she has her eye on my mom like, don't dare, okay, don't do what you're about to do. But my mom doesn't get it, so she instead attacks me and proceeds to turn now the whole class to try and cause everyone to get the people around me to turn against me, okay. And so it's like suddenly the class ends, yeah, and I'm passing, I'm just like I'm leaving I'm going to leave her there. And at that point I decide I'm going home and I'm going to take all my belongings and leave, okay. So it is then I decide to move out and take my things away from home. Now when I move, I start trying to organize in the new place that I've moved to. And some friends and strangers are all around me, and I'm not sure if this house is even unoccupied, yeah, because I moved to a house that seemed like it had other things inside, okay. I don't even know where this is I moved to, but it's like there was continuity. Then my mom brings the young men in our family, and they're all angry at me and want to move out from my house. So I beg them and I explain that, Mom, they want me to move out from this house that I've occupied and go back home. So I beg them and I explain, yeah, that my mom, is being so bad at me, to me, and they should let me stay here. Like I remember even vividly in the dream, I was explaining because my mom was by the door. She's brought these guys. She wants them to now, take everything and take me back home. Okay. And so they leave. After I explain, they leave, and mom seems so set on bringing me down. As I go back inside, I find that people have brought me a lot of gifts, yeah? It's like moving in gifts. and household gifts to support me as I settle. And in one box, someone contributed guns. And we were shocked, okay? At some point, the kids and I are walking at a certain place where I see a group of young police men and women. I approach them to ask a question about the guns, and they kind of laugh me off, and I feel bad and end up saying, this wasn't an intellectual question. I'm just asking, is it illegal for me to be carrying guns? But now later I understood that these are weapons to help me fight whatever battle is coming against me, because I'm not supposed to be, being put down or pulled down. Now note, it is not against my mother in person. It is the spirit governing that causes her to think she can't let me go. Even though we are always fighting, yeah? I am the one who is familiar to her in spirit, okay? So forever, we'll keep pulling at each other, she's like, come here, you're mine. Come here, you are mine. Not my mother, because when we speak with my mother, we actually know what we are doing. We actually know what mission we are. But the spirit governing this home, is using my mother to now drag me back. Despite the fact that I am a married woman, I'm supposed to be living somewhere else, okay? So now in this dream, it's like, God is showing me, now everybody is coming now to your aid to help you, because I asked God the question, why is it always like this? Why do I have to always fight with my mother? Why are we still addressing the same old issues when we are supposed to be moving at a greater speed in order to be able to get back what was stolen from us? So we are doing a good job, but we would stop because it's like we are supposed to address issues that we addressed a long time, okay? And you guys, in the physical, I'm always trying to please and heal this woman, okay? And she's trying also to connect with me the same way. We have lit conversation. So what is this? And why is it that she would be able to even gather these young men, yeah? And it all boils down to the spirit governing this home. Do you understand? So it's very tricky, and it's very, it is associated with why you and your mom are very linked together, even despite going into marriage where you're supposed to actually gain another mom. Now, there's something I haven't told you. Whenever you move out of your home and you go into another home, like even in our culture, we used to move and we would be eating from, big mama's house, which is your mother-in-law, yeah? So you would share her kitchen for a while, and then she will now send you, with gifts of pots and pans into your own home where you can now have your own kitchen, okay? So this person that you're joined with is the same as you, in that she came from another home and was married into this home. The only people who really belong into this home are the children. You come in by the legality of marriage, okay? So because now she came in and became one with her husband, now she's the one that you find, okay? And you're joined to your husband the same way. So you guys are supposed to now be related and living together in the same way, okay? So you left your mother, okay? You left your mother as a girl and you came together in this home where now you meet this woman who was joined into this family the same way. So you're supposed to understand each other and carry the same mission which you were called to do in this home, okay? So the fact that you're actually still joined to your mother, there's a problem there. There's a spirit that keeps you joined together, okay? So I won't finish the rest of the dream, but I'm going also to tell you about something that happened. So that was God now justifying me and telling me that you have my support, okay? I'm raising people, to support you, even, give you gifts and also now help you settle in the new place that you're settling, because you're supposed to have broken off from your mother, okay? And somebody asked me a very interesting questions from the video where I did the dreams, yeah? And she's asking, you mentioned a bag. What does it mean, a handbag? Even though her case was different, it reminded me when she asked me that question, why did I actually leave my handbag at my mother's house? And it is because I have vowed, even when leaving home, I vowed to be a helper to this home, yeah? But now God is showing me that you have now to pick the purse, which is the one that is carrying the money, and break off and go start, a new thing. Come get this blessing in a different place, okay? All right, guys. So, therefore, a man shall leave his mother and father and be joined to his wife, and the two shall become one. Okay, so you're one with your husband, and that is how you are related. Okay, so I had another dream, and this was about a couple friend of ours. Okay, now these people, we did a season together, and so we got to know each other. Okay, now I would dream afterwards about them and not, you know, get so much involved because it was just dreams. Because when you meet people, you will dream because you're connected in a certain way. Yeah. So I had a dream the other day, and it was you know, actually giving me a lot of information. And in this dream, it was like this man had done something very wrong. Okay, and so it was affecting the wife, and I could see the wife inside the house, because after this guy came to me, I talked to him, and I, you know, I told him, I asked him to sit somewhere like in front of a certain shop or a kiosk. Yeah, so I told him just sit there. He was so worried, he was so torn over what he's done to, you know, against the family, against the wife. And so he was so scared. And you know, it was like now this case, I'm handling this case, I'm trying to calm him down, like just sit there, you know, I will go in and handle the mess. Okay. Now, when I went in, I found the wife very fortified. She was dressed in some brown clothes and ready to fight. Okay, like now she had legality. Yeah, she had a reason to fight this man. Okay. Now I saw her and I saw the state at which she was. I knew, okay, she has to calm down before we are able to talk. And then I saw her mother, okay, the mother to the wife. And as I came around her, she was so angry at me, and she was like, oh, you're the one who is giving, you know, this guy some legality or permission to act how he will. Okay. So I don't remember what she gave me in the dream, but she gave me something, but she was so also very angry. Okay, and this is not a person I've ever met. I did not, you know, think there should be much value or way to her talk, weight, yeah, to her talk. And I was like, why? So this lady is like she's fighting her daughter's battle. Okay, so they are all, you know, they've drawn out, they are all ready for war and to battle this young man. Okay, so I was like, okay, so these two people, I cannot talk to them. Now I have ever met the young man's mother. Okay, and so I thought this is the one who would give me the most help. Okay, but when I came around her, she was like acting so grateful, and it's like she's giving me you know, permission. Yeah, like it's telepathically she's telling me, please take care of my son. I know this is bad, and he needs somebody like to advocate for him. Okay, so it's like she was giving me permission. And even in the dream, I would wonder, wow, that is the one I know to be very harsh. You know, the mom to the dad, to the boy, to the young man, that's the one I know to be very harsh. I would have expected her to attack me. And so I go back and I sit beside the young man, and I'm like, you know, you need to calm down, things will be okay. But he's so worried about what the wife will do. He's very, very scared. Okay, and it's like by him making a mess or sinning against the wife or doing something particularly wrong, now it gave the wife so much power to always now overpower him, or, you know, just be able to attack him, her and her family. Okay, or her and her mother. Okay, so so the young man would ask me, what should I do? Should I go make her some mandazis, you know, cook for her, make her feel good, make her feel like I'm really repentant? And I said to him, only if you want to. Okay, do not overextend yourself, because this is a battle. Okay, and as much as you are wrong, you only do not compromise yourself. Okay, you have to stand and still you know, you have to stand and recover your leadership role. Okay, because if you go and do all these things, your role will be turned around. Okay, so now I know if you guys are really paying attention to this, then you understand what actually God was communicating. It is a very important message, and it is that you know, whenever we as daughters find a mistake with our husbands. We fortify ourselves with what our mothers will lead us into, forgetting that we already broke off from these families, okay? These are big mama's families, okay? We came together and we were joined together. We are one, okay? So there should not be any separation, and there should be not, one person. It's like when you sin, I sin. Now, people who have done marriage for long, you understand that whatever it is you have gone through, you find that your partner has gone through as well. And we'll cover this in, a topic called Kingdom Marriage. I think it's a video I've already done. Okay, and what happens in a kingdom marriage, because it is a cord of three. Okay, so it's like a umbilical cord. So when the child is in the tummy, okay, whatever the mother goes through, they're very likely to go through. Okay, the same when a man and a woman are joined together, this is a very tight bond, and that is why sometimes it takes heaven and earth to have it broken. Okay, it takes legality, it takes words of your mouth, it takes witchcraft, it takes also the power of God to fight for you. Okay, so it takes spiritual power, because the joining did not just happen in the physical, it happened in the spiritual too. Okay, so I was telling this young man, it depends on what you want. Do not in Kikuyu we say kogwagwa, do not give in so much that you lose your position as a man. Okay, because everybody in this marriage has a position, and it has to be upheld if this marriage has a chance of standing. But if your sin will make it so that you no longer have a position, now it is somebody else now coming into the marriage to speak, then that is no longer a marriage. You're not married to your husband, you're married to your mom. Okay, so we'll go into this a little bit more, but the video is too long. I've shared this dream so that they can edify. Okay, and just know that there are familiar spirits that use the people in your life to have control over you, so that even in marriage you're not free. Now, if you're not free, you will lose the chances to build what you should in your lifetime. And life is not so much that, we have time to waste and we have no time to build for our children, because a good man leaves, an inheritance for his children's children. Where will you get the time to build that if you're always set in your mother's family doing that? Now, I have to say one thing, yeah? There was a time, I was watching this thing on social media, yeah, some of the influencers, and I saw this girl going to the mom, and she's a girl who is doing very, very well. But I have to mention this. When she went around the mom would remark some very terrible things, according to me. Perhaps I was looking at it with, eyes of the spirit. And this mom would say, you're very, very lucky. When this man married you, now her husband, you looked very shady. You were just a very shady girl who didn't look very nice, But now look at you. He has really taken good care of you. And as far as I know, this couple, they both work very, very hard, okay? And they've come to some blessings. And I was really bothered by what the mom said. And the girl even asked, but she was taking it very well. Why would you say that? Don't I work hard? And she says, the mother says, I also work hard. So, but it is the man who has made you, okay? So if I had a man like that, we would be double blessed, okay? And I realized this woman did not actually know her position. She was encroaching into that other generation, okay? And comparing. And there should be no comparison between the two, because you've seen even generations that did so well, but their children ahead of them did not do well. Perhaps it's because they didn't get this wealth legally or something. Your children are supposed to be greater. Your children are supposed to pierce forth into the future, okay? And even the future and the generations they come to have so much more than what we had. Our children now have so much more than what we had. If we are encroaching there, then we are not doing the work that we're supposed to do in our generation, which should be very fulfilling. And that is why, as our children increase, we are supposed to be decreasing, or we are actually decreasing. If you were given that mantle, you wouldn't be able to handle it, okay? And that's why you are older. That is why you are in a different place. You're only supposed to give wisdom that you are asked to give, okay? You should not be in this generation controlling things, because now you're leading with that old spirit, with that ancient spirit, with that familiar spirit, and what it is speaking against this family to bring it down. so that even when this family comes into blessing, it's like now you're using this spirit to just pull your daughter down or your son. It depends on because even fathers do that to their children. Okay, they can't stand to see the power and vitality in the young child, so they'll speak. So they will speak out of turn. Okay, so if you understand that, then we can move on. Okay, so I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.